Officers enter John's house, but are quickly hit with yet another disturbing realization.
All right, welcome to body cam footage. Today we're watching man reveals horrifying secret in his backyard. Could be anything. I'm assuming there's going to be a dead body back there. So if you want to drop any guesses, that'd be dope. That's all I've got. Bones? That's just a more specific dead body.
911, where's your emergency?
I killed somebody.
Who did you kill?
I don't want to say right now.
It says this is where he buried the body in here. There's the shovel.
It's a body.
He says it's not very deep either.
He was a bad man.
In the late afternoon of July 21st, 2020, dispatchers at Marion County receive a disturbing 911 call. At first, police officers are hesitant to believe the man who claims to have committed a heinous crime. But as officers arrive on the scene, they quickly discover that getting to the bottom of the truth will be no easy task.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's John Wells.
John Wells?
John Wilkes? Booth?
Do you have any type of
I don't have any
on you,
weapons.
sir?
I don't have anything. I don't want it. I'm just trying to drink my I'm not doing anything wrong right now.
So this isn't like the first call I've heard like this, where they're just like, I don't want to answer any questions. I killed someone. Just come handle it. But it's wild that it's happened multiple times. Like, they have to ask you questions. One of them was really stupid. One of them, she was like, I killed somebody. Or it was a dude. The dude was like, I killed somebody. And the dispatcher was like, okay, what's the address of the emergency? And the guy was like, I don't want to answer any questions. I killed someone. Just send someone over here.
Sir, I promise you, I'm not accusing you of doing anything wrong whatsoever. I'm just trying to know what my officers are walking into.
The guy's buried here.
You buried the person at your house?
Yes. This is a confession. I'm going peaceful.
Police are soon dispatched to meet with the distraught caller, unaware of what they're about to get themselves into. The following footage has never been seen before.
I killed someone.
Okay, where at?
I killed him here.
Here at this house?
Mm-hmm.
How long ago?
This was about a couple months ago.
Okay.
Oh, that's wild, dude. Months? Do you think, as a person, do you think that if you killed someone and it's been 4 months, let's say in a panic, you killed someone, somebody broke into your house, you don't know if they have a weapon, somebody broke into your house. In a panic, you hit them, you stab them with a knife you found in your kitchen. You watch them bleed out. You're still panicking. You don't call anyone. Instead, you dig a hole in your backyard and you throw them in there. It's been 4 months. Do you tell anyone? Self-defense is self-defense, but people panic.
Is the person you killed?
I'd rather not see it right now.
Okay, well that's, how am I gonna know
I'd rather not say who I killed.
What you're saying is true.
Makes me think, if you don't want to say who you killed, it makes me think it was a partner. Definitely somebody that you know.
Because the person was very estranged and very outlawed.
What does that mean?
Where's the person at now? Out back. Can I go look? You don't mind? I don't mind. Okay.
John's reluctance to give details about the victim leaves police questioning whether his story is true. So 2 officers begin their search of the suspect's backyard.
Anything out of the ordinary?
4 months. You probably can't tell if the ground is disturbed, but I don't know.
Huh?
Yes, Catsock, like imagine if he wasn't white, letting this man drink a beer and smoke is crazy. Yes, but you don't know if he's telling the truth, which I think is a big thing. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't know if he's telling the truth. And right now, I don't think you're investigating a crime as much as you're doing like a wellness check, because it could just be someone like freaking out. That too. Another big thing is you have to keep him calm so that he's willing to relay information. Because if you arrest him and then he shuts up, now you don't have any proof. Now you're just like, well, he told us he killed someone.
Well, 2 months ago.
No. You're saying it's 2 months ago?
Yeah.
When the officer returns to ask for a more specific location, John is quick to share exactly where he buried the body.
We're out in the backyard. What area? Under the left window.
where the flower, the garden is. That's where he is.
Who is it?
Some older guy that he just met that day.
His claim that the victim was nothing more than a stranger will not be the first of his many lies today.
Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say it's so rare for people to kill strangers. Unless they're serial killers. It is so rare for one-off murders to be strangers.
Separating fact from fiction will be more than a challenge, given John's apparent state of intoxication.
So, why would you, like, obviously you're saying you killed somebody, so you're admitting the homicide and that he's here, which we could easily find out if we start digging up your yard. So, why would you withhold the guy's name?
Do you know the guy's name?
We would just kind of like to get a head start, seeing if we can find out if he's been reported missing or...
I want to know if he was intoxicated before he decided to make the call, or if he was like, today's going to be my last day, so I'm going to get wasted.
Nobody even knows he's gone. That kind of stuff, you know?
Despite their repeated questions about the victim's identity, John appears hesitant to share any crucial details.
I don't think so.
Sir, do you want me to go ahead and give him a call?
I don't think so. I think he was a piece of no one wants.
Can you tell us just so we can check?
Jasper.
Okay.
Jasper, that's all I know. That's all I know his name to be.
That doesn't help, dude.
And he was a black. That wasn't the reason.
Well, no,
You didn't even call him like a black person. You just said he was a black, but that's not the reason.
That wasn't. But that
who he was.
That wasn't the reason.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's saying it was.
Where was he from, do you know?
He said he was from Colorado. He said he was from Colorado.
He goes on to explain that he met Jasper through a neighbor and that he'd been living in his truck parked in John's driveway.
Where's his truck at now?
I have no idea.
Did you do something with it, or?
Officers may be hesitant to believe him, but as they discuss it amongst themselves, John finally speaks up. His answer and following confession make it clear that unearthing the truth will be harder than they imagined.
He was staying in his truck, and his truck was here in the driveway, but it got towed away by somebody, and basically, sounds like what he's saying is somebody got rid of it for him.
It's a lie. I'm sorry. I'm lying to you.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
What are you lying about? Everything?
So here's the thing, and they alluded to it earlier, but it's super, super rare for a one-off killing to be somebody that you don't know. Like, you're not, as a person who isn't, a regular murderer, you're not really going to find a good reason to just kill someone. And so it's weird to me that he called this in and he's like, yeah, he's in my backyard under the window. But you're lying about who they are. And I don't know if there's going to be like shame. And it could be for multiple reasons, right? It could have been like this person, it could be someone that they're sleeping with and they just like didn't want that out.
I'm not lying about it. I'm lying about that.
But you're not lying about the homicide.
Everything else is true.
Okay. Where'd this all happen at then?
Right here.
Outside, inside?
Right here.
Where we're standing?
Right here where we're standing.
Okay. How many shots were fired? Do you know how many shots you fired? 3?
Let me see if I can check that out.
With little more to go on than a first name, a missing truck, and a less than truthful suspect, police search their database for clues. What they discover next may provide some much-needed answers. 2 months before officers arrived on the scene, this call was placed to 911.
I believe I heard a gunshot. I'm not 100% sure, but it was way too different to be a firework.
Wow, somebody called it in.
And
They didn't check?
They were about, I want to say, 2 minutes apart.
Any idea where they might have been coming from? What direction?
Yeah, it was really close. I believe, honestly, it was next door to me.
Fortunately, the neighbor in question is home. As it turns out, her boyfriend was with her at the time of the incident, and he begins to describe the disturbing details of what he witnessed.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, me and her brother were over there playing GTA, like 1, 2 in the morning.
Okay.
We heard a boom. Like, I asked him, "Do you hear the noise with it? You?" And he literally opened his door again, point it. I'm not saying gun because I'm not 100% sure, but pointing whatever down, boom.
If he was shooting a gun,
So he shot a gun, had the cops called on him, and there's nothing? There's nothing. There's nothing.
he would have shot it inside the truck.
Yeah, like right in the floorboard, you wouldn't be honest. It would look like at least.
All that the officers need to know now is the location of the handgun. Unfortunately, the answers they get are far from what they want to hear.
How did you kill this person?
With a Russian knife.
A handgun? And you still have this handgun?
Somebody broke in and stole. Somebody broke into my house and somebody broke into my house since then. And they stole it.
Sure, pat him down.
Huh.
We're going to check, just make sure you don't have any weapons on you, okay?
Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
No guns, no knives or anything? How much have you had to drink today?
About 2.5 of these.
I'm glad I don't drink. I imagine if I was drunk, that I would just like start telling people things I don't want to tell them about myself. You do not need to know the worst parts about me.
You got probation or anything?
I am.
As officers struggle to get the answers they need from the intoxicated suspect, help arrives in the form of 2 detectives.
At this point, I feel like you definitely have enough to just take him in. Like, put him in a drunk tank, let him sober up, and then see what he'll say. But I guess the whole thing is like, you could sit here and get way more out of him. You also kind of need permission to dig up in his backyard. And then though they've asked about it and said we could just dig up the backyard, I don't think they've asked for it.
Who are determined to uncover the truth. While the first prepares to question John in his driveway.
And also the most important thing is identifying the man, right? Or whoever was killed. Because at this point, it's not like you can save anyone. And this person's probably going to get arrested. And you don't want him to be arrested and just like decide not to talk at all anymore. So the most important thing is to identify the person who has been murdered. And so you will stand here and patiently ask questions. So I think that makes sense to me.
The other heads to the back, where the body supposedly lies buried.
I like the backyard
This
toilet.
is where he buried the body in here. There's the shovel. He says it's not very deep either.
Looks like he even went and got topsoil or something and put it on.
I don't know where that came from. But this is
bought it.
Yeah, that's true too. He says not very deep, but
I think he had intentions with the gas cans.
don't know. He's sometimes he is very forthcoming and then he won't. So, but see how it's like that in some bricks. There's 2 boards. He just threw together like whatever he had.
That's just weeds in there.
Yeah, that's what.
You don't plant anything.
Nope, it's just some grass and some. Alrighty.
While one detective can only speculate, unable to disturb the shallow dirt without the help of a crime scene unit, the other works to uncover what could have driven Jonathan to commit such a grave act. What he claims is more shocking than anyone could have imagined.
Can you just take me from the top of what's going on while we're here today? Tell me in your own terms.
In my own way.
I feel like I'm leaning towards something sexual. Like I don't think he's gonna claim some sort of like violent self-defense. I think it's gonna be something sexual.
Yep.
He was in.
Oh.
Okay. How did you know?
That's one way to say that, dude.
What do you mean, man?
I don't want to give those names.
Okay. What happens?
Okay, so I lost my job.
When did you lose your job?
I'm thinking about 3 months ago.
Okay.
It's not because he was black. And then he goes on and just...
So you lost your job. Somehow you and this... What's his name?
You said
We
Jasper.
got into it because he was a random person.
Yeah, that like that. Okay.
He asked me.
While the police have redacted this part of the footage, John's initial call to 911 may shed some light on what was redacted.
He was a bad man. He made comments to me. He made comments to me about my son.
About the man wanted to do that, or was accusing you of doing that?
No, because he wanted to.
Gotcha. How old's your son?
He's 8.
It's important to note the truth of the matter has not been verified, and the statements made by John only reflect his opinion on what happened.
There's
This
a lot going on
disturbing
here.
accusation may be difficult to prove, but an unsettling discovery will later shed some light on this subject. For now, the detective will work to get
I'm not going to say anything about that yet. Maybe at all. We're going to let this play.
as many details as possible from John.
I met the guy because we were trying to.
There's obviously a lot going on here. Like, this dude's obviously racist. And we don't know if, like, this is something he's making up to just tell himself that he had a reason to do something.
Exchange. Business. Then I shot him.
You were in the house at that point.
I was out here. I was right here where we're standing. Right here. This is right here.
Okay.
So look below the neck.
Okay. That's the good stuff.
There's no chance I can grab one more.
No. Oh, yeah.
John now shows the detective where he buried the body, but his chilling actions as he stands over the makeshift grave will be difficult for officers to ignore.
I feel like I should be talking to a lawyer by now.
And that's why you didn't want to, like,
so you
freak
should
him out.
probably have me in your cuffs.
Okay.
You're a homicide. You're a homicide investigator. I'm telling you I'm telling you the truth. But
Okay. Don, I gotta take this call just real quick. If you'll just stay here with Officer Gable for a minute, okay?
his name was Jasper.
Okay.
I'm not sure that was his real name.
Okay. But as far as you know, he's still laying in here. Buried a couple feet down, right?
He is.
Seemingly unnerved by John's silent stare, the officer attempts to get more information about the missing murder weapon.
But you don't have that gun anymore?
I don't. Somebody broke in that window. That window was easily acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Did you report that gun stolen? Did you call the police?
I called the police when an incident happened, and they knew I was, for a fact, in jail. And somebody...
Did you report the firearm stolen, though?
I did not.
Was it your firearm registered to you, or?
It was mine.
It was yours? Where'd you get it at?
I got it from a flea market.
Okay.
Just know
Wanna
on
go
the
back
St.
out
Gallen
front with
call
us?
that I spoke with
We'll go
494
back out front so we don't have to stand out here,
489
right?
St. Gallen, as well as
After putting out his cigarette in the dirt over the body buried just a few feet beneath the surface, John returns to the front of the house with the officers. When one officer thinks to ask what brought about his sudden desire to confess, his shocking revelation is not unexpected, as you'll soon learn.
Has the guilt of it been eating you up, or what made you decide to call us?
More like the evidence of it.
Okay.
What does that mean?
You afraid since you're not paying your rent that your landlord's going to find him back there?
Pretty much.
Oh.
Shockingly, John's first call was not to 911. Knowing
That's a
that he would soon be
problem.
evicted, he opted to tell the one person he knew would eventually discover his jaw-dropping secret.
Okay, my name is Adam. I own a property. All I am is the owner. I'm not there right now, but the tenant just called me and said that he killed somebody there.
Okay.
He is there now. He is distraught. I told him that I was going to call you guys as soon as I got off the phone.
Yeah, he's actually on the phone with my partner right now.
I was just trying to keep the gentleman calm as I could keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm concerned for his well-being, and I
This should have been handled when the neighbors called the police. This should have been handled a long time ago.
told him, I said, I have to turn you in if you don't turn yourself in.
John revealed crucial details during his call to his landlord, as you'll hear later.
I don't know what to say. What's the news going to say now? The news is going to say I shot a black man because I was on meth. That's what the news is going to say.
Or were you on meth that night? Did you say?
I was not.
Okay.
I absolutely was not.
Did you use any meth today?
No.
When was the last time you used meth? No, the last time usually is the last time you
I was dabbling. with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure.
When? There's so much happening here.
John, I want to just run through this real quick to make sure I got
First off, he was the one that mentioned he was black, right? He was a black. That's not why I shot him. And then later he calls him the N-word. So that one's on you. Are you racist? Seems like it. The meth came out of nowhere.
That's straight. Okay. About 2 months ago, we're talking, this is July, so we're thinking May, early May, late May. Black guy from Colorado named Jasper comes here. You guys are going to make a deal. He's seeking meth, or you're seeking meth. He makes.
I was not. I never tried meth at that time.
Okay. So
Okay.
he's seeking meth from you. Right?
Or is he
Well, what is he asking for?
What was your business about?
We were mutually seeking money. I was seeking money to pay rent.
Right? What was the action going on here?
How were you going to get that money?
Plan was just to sell on Facebook. I had a 401k from the job I worked, and I
Okay,
was
so Cassie
buying
401k.
and I was intending to sell them. The reason that I met the guy was because I felt like I needed a mutual bond with somebody.
You got to keep going, dog.
Our agreement was that, and also I draw portraits.
Was there something involved between you two?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm sorry.
I just won't misunderstand. There's nothing between you two, right? You and Jasper? Or was there arrangement for that?
That's where I was going. I said that 20 minutes ago.
There was not.
Okay.
There was his misunderstanding that there
Show the messages at this point. That's not a misunderstanding. Show the messages at this point. I do think, and I've thought this entire time, that it was something sexual.
would be.
Okay.
He was a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever correspond with this guy on the internet or anything?
No.
Once again, John reiterates his claim that Jasper made advances not toward him, but toward his 8-year-old child.
From what I understand here, there's going to be no proof or evidence of that.
I feel like if this started on Facebook Marketplace, there's gonna be some sort of like texts, right? So
Any advances?
Right.
When one officer circles back to questions regarding the victim's missing truck, John quickly interrupts her to ask a startling question of his own.
For what color? Vehicle was even?
There's no chance I can buy myself more time with a drink.
Shut up.
No, well, can't let you have anything else. Can't let you get back in the house at this point.
I think I should just talk to an attorney.
That's
Searching for
your
clues,
right.
officers enter John's house but are quickly hit with yet another disturbing realization.
Oh.
Smells like chemicals. Is he cooking meth?
I mean, if you smell in there,
Is he cooking meth?
I don't know. Get out of there, Dana.
He might be cooking meth in here. That's going to complicate things.
Yeah, it's much stronger.
Yeah, I know. I could smell it when you guys pulled that back.
Unable to search the home, investigators hit a brick wall. Without a clear story, no murder weapon, and increasingly confusing answers as to the relationship between the two men, police have no choice but to arrest John and hope that the truth can be uncovered during interrogation.
You probably have enough here to get a search warrant for the body, and if you find the body, you're going to get access to the house. But it's still probably faster to just get everything from this guy.
You been drinking today?
Yes. Okay, this is the first time I've talked to you, correct? You understand what I mean by that?
Dabbling.
I should probably talk to a lawyer. Okay. All right.
Now that the interrogation can't continue because John has asked for an attorney, investigators have no choice but to end the conversation before it begins. An officer soon returns to book him into the county jail, but shockingly, not for the crime which he earlier confessed.
What could
We
this?
don't really know
Oh,
what's
yes, you're so right, Smirky. I didn't even. Yes, you're right. You can just ask the landlord. Yes, you're so right. Didn't even think of that. First off, he's about to be put in jail for something that was not on video, something that like he hasn't talked about. So what is this going to be?
Holding on to stuff you're confessing to. So for right now, you're just going to go to jail for a probation violation since you've been drinking.
Okay. So they do need a reason to just hold him, and that's good enough.
Okay, we're going to figure all this other stuff out though. Okay?
Although John's intoxicated state left detectives unable to piece together the full story at the scene, crime scene investigators later succeeded in unearthing the body.
You can also make the argument that because he's not there, because he's in jail, that you can enter the house with the permission of the landlord and not the tenant. If you didn't have everything else, but you do have everything else.
Although John's intoxicated state left detectives unable to piece together the full story at the scene, crime scene investigators later succeeded in unearthing the body. The victim would later be identified as 33-year-old Jasper Brady. According to police reports, his body was discovered just beneath the flower bed, exactly where John confessed to burying him. He was found cocooned in several layers of trash bags, tarps, and plastic wrap, which were each sealed in duct tape. A later autopsy would confirm the cause of death as 2 gunshot wounds to the chest. Although his body was nearly beyond recognition, the autopsy report noted several details about his appearance. These observations, when compared to the video you're about to see, have spine-chilling similarities. At the time of his death, Jasper's hair was styled in a distinctive low bun. He donned a thin plaid scarf, wore 2 necklaces, and his fingernails were painted.
The heavyweight title of the world, you say? Is that all? Oh, break a jaw. I'm home. You know, I'll tell you something. It really sucks turning on my video camera when I do not have what I love in the background. What do I love, you ask? You know what? That is very nice of you asking. I can't find anyone that ever asks, nor care to ask. So thank you so much for asking. If you asked. If you did not ask, you're just another.
This video, uploaded on May 19, 2020, is the last video Jasper Brady ever published. Once the house is deemed safe for investigators, they soon discover the trash bags used to wrap the body, a pair of blue rubber gloves, and the keys to Jasper's missing truck. The truck, which may have been the scene of the grisly crime, is still missing, along with the gun he used to commit the violent act. No secrets are safe in prison, and one inmate who shares a cell with John informs the investigators about the truck's and gun's location. Unfortunately, upon arriving at the location described by the inmate, the alleged garage where it was being held claimed to have never received a truck matching the vehicle's description. The truck and the gun are still missing. As for John's motive, he tells his landlord what ultimately pushed him over the edge.
You know, when my son was here, and he popped in and asked a question, and the guy asked me, he said, can we sell him? And that, you know, that just, it went under my head, you know, when he said it, and yeah, it upset you, John? Yeah. You know, there was a lot of other things on top of it, too. Right. And I understand that would be a hard thing. But, you know, but with him, you know. Yeah, sure. I mean, if I was thinking clearly, I wouldn't have done that.
A later investigation unveiled a disturbing series of Facebook posts that may lend credence to his claims that Jasper held a horrifying secret. In these posts, made only days after John's arrest, they claimed to have been assaulted by Jasper Brady. They later contacted the police and made a chilling request.
Yeah, I have something to say about, you have a murder case you're working on. Jasper Brady was killed a few days ago. I have something to say to your suspect. Tell him I said thank you for killing my.
You say,
tell your suspect, the guy who turned himself in for killing Jasper Brady, that I said thank you for killing my.
While these details are mentioned in the case files, we've not been able to confirm any of these allegations against Jasper Brady as facts. Jonathan Welsh has a long criminal history with multiple misdemeanor charges from 2006 up to 2022. These include theft, underage drinking, possession of substances, criminal trespassing, and child endangerment, among others. In the case of Jasper Brady, Jonathan Welsh was charged with murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. He ultimately pleaded guilty to 1 count of murder, and on August 30th, 2022, 2 years after the incident, Jonathan was sentenced to an indefinite term of 15 years to life in prison. He's currently being held at the Richland Correctional Institution in Mansfield, Ohio, and will be eligible for parole on July 17th, 2035.
It's a wild way to end things. Yeah, that's definitely like a lot. I don't think it's my place to. I think I can say the things that I think I would do. I'm very fortunate in that I don't have children and I don't have to think about these things in a real sense. I think Jasper was very obviously going through like a mental health crisis. That being said, I think if you told me you were going to do something to my 8-year-old, I've definitely beat people up for less. This doesn't excuse that, this guy's a racist and overall probably a bad person, but I think we can have bad people doing things to bad people, and